Baby Crypto Pig here, and I'm here locked into this vortex of hell. And I'm here to tell you to join old Vincenzo's Go Crypto Investing on YouTube partner to sidestep and audible the criminal gangster cartel. Hell!
We're on support right now, right? You see this? And we know where we've been since the great dump in early June. We've been getting supported in this red support zone, which is the volume indicator zone. It used to be our blue support zone, but we've taken the whole history of XRP, and it actually lined up beautifully with this being the major volume area. And as long as you're above it, you try to get bullish, you try to bounce, right? You can get bullish bounces. You see the initial bounce, rejected. Bounce, rejected by the 200-day bounce, rejected by the 200-day local double bottom, pump through the 200-day, came back down. Now that it was on top of the whole box, it bounced again as support, came way up, got harshly rejected by this back area where there was a lot of trading volume that we were looking at for a rejection, struggled onto that major support level and resistance level, 37 cents. Could not hold that 37 cents, flushed all the way back down, but got supported again on the red support zone, pumped up into this rising channel, had that big wick reversal candle where we tagged that 37 cents for about 3 seconds and got harshly rejected. And a couple of hours later, we were back down there on the top part of this volume indicator support zone at 32.5 to 33 cents. And what I would look for this weekend is if you can't hold this level, you're coming straight down to the bottom again. This support zone at about 28.9, right? 28.9 cents. And then that would be where you could try to bounce back up to upper resistance, which would be 32 cents, or you're going to fall through it and start to come on down and hit some of these lower targets and get into this orange support zone and getting close to where you start doing your max accumulation, right? So that's what we're looking out for. The key level today is 32.5 cents, staying on top of this. Take a picture of this, staying on top of this red support zone, because if you break that, you got an 8-9% straight down fall down to 26 cents. If you can get some support, get some buyers, get some momentum this weekend, you could try to tag and make another run at this 37 cents, right? So that's what the XRP is looking like. And then we're going to end this video out with XLM. It's sitting in relatively the same area, right? You can see support, 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 right about that 10.3 cents. And major upper resistance is 1.618 Fibonacci fib circle, right? That is slowly descending. We got resistance, resistance, came back through, failed it as support, resistance, 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 and now we're down here. And what I would look for in the XLM price is if you can't hold this 10.4 cent level, you're coming straight down to the 7.5 to 7.75 cent level. But this is your critical area, is the 10 cent level. If you can try to find some buyers and some momentum this weekend, you could try to tag on the resistance side of the 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level. And then you have the major 12.9 cents, which I don't believe you're going to get this weekend. I'm tending to be bearish because the markets have been bearish, but this is your critical level you need to hold if you're trying to get bullish this weekend. And then we'll look at a little Luna because it had a lot of little momentum this morning, and you can see Luna came down near and tagged that fib circle that we're going by now. But what this might look like is this tag the fib circle, comes back up, what we were talking about the other day, and form a massive double top, right? And if it does do something like a massive double top like that, we're going to project into the future and say the double top is right here, and then you would go to the neckline right there, and then you would go to the point of the breakout of the neckline, and that would bring you back down into here, which would be still a bullish consolidation because the 100-day moving average would be sneaking and slithering right about there later on today and early tomorrow. And then if that double top came all the way down, tagged that and held it, you could get bullish again and try to pump back up either for a much, much bigger double top or to get more to the bullish side, right? So that's an underneath target that we're watching if this thing fails to breach this. But one thing I'm noticing is all these big wicks in a row, that's sell pressure. So that's telling me that the buyers are being exhausted. As you can see here, after this big run, you've had an uptrending volume and now a crashing volume with some sell volume coming in, and now a up and sideways consolidation. Let's watch to see if this isn't a double top this weekend, because I think this is eventually going to roll over. I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, I will come out of here and fully admit it. But if I look out to the farther out macro time frame, right where this pump started in Luna, down here in August, this there ain't no way in a few weeks to a month this isn't all the way back down here and then all the way back down in here, right? I'm going to keep that up there because I think Luna will eventually be coming all the way back down in a full ladder. Remove, like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love. Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing. We're going to get you into this coin update, and you can see Mark, absolutely. Congratulations on your 200% trade that you made. And you can see we were in this uptrend here in this rising channel slash wedge looking thing. But you can see we, since right here, we broke down or traded out of this rising channel or wedge, depending on how you want to look at it. But then it did a classic thing over the last day and a half. We had our first wick down to the 100-day moving average. It bounced back straight back up again, right? And then we had a couple of those big wicks to the downside. Then we came through in a candle and then traded sideways, came back up, and on a 2 wicks right there, got rejected. And what that is, it's back testing it, right? It used to be, it was holding it as support. Look back into this pattern after the pump started right here, the big pump, right? Then you held it as support, support, and you were going up at resistance, 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 right? Well, when you came back down on this one, after a few wicks, after a few times where you got the big wicks down and got bought right back up again, you came through it, traded sideways, and then had a big pump for the time frame with big volume for the time frame. Even though you can see the volume was massively decreasing, you had a big candle spike there, but you got rejected. That's a bearish confirmation, often telling you now the buyers are being exhausted and the sellers are going to drive the market down. And the lower targets that I'd be looking at would be the 200-day moving average that it has to hold, or you're coming all the way down to hit the targeted move, which is down there at the bottom of this wedge slash channel. And the bottom of that wedge slash channel would be the last line that you would have to try to hold if you want to remain any kind of bullishness into this uptrend that we've had. But that'd be all the way down there. Your first major support level would be the 30533 on the 200-day moving average. But what this also looks like to me is a head and a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder topping reversal pattern in this rising wedge as the bears are attempting to take over the market. And a technical target out of that little formation would be like this to the neckline, which would be right about the moving average, and that brings you down to the bottom of the channel or wedge, which is a technical target. And those would be the two lower supports if you're trying to find a pump spot on a price that's going down and retracing after a big massive pump that it had. Those would be the two main areas that I would be looking at for a possible relief rally somewhere. And then you obviously have that major orange line at 0.0013450 back where the pump initially started, right? So that's what we're looking at there. If I go into here and see Raven, you can see we did bounce off that lower support that we were talking about that in the current pattern because it's at the all-time low-ish area. We bounced twice, once, twice, and now we did successfully bounce again from Friday, and we got over the 200-day moving average here, and it's trying to hold these moving averages as they're attempting to trend up. And my upper resistance would be up here between that 0.0150204 and that red support zone, which is the volume indicator, which you can see back here every time we've had big pumps, rejected, rejected, rejected as we get near that major volume indicator area, which is bearish when you're coming from below it. So that would be where I'd be looking at for a resistance zone, about the 0.00150204 to the 0.0018, and then a bunch of zeros after that would be where I'm looking at for major resistance. If we look at dappt, you can see it had that nice little pump the other day, came back down again, and now it's consolidating at that green line again, and that's been for the pattern for the last couple of months. If you're on that resistance support line, if you're on the support line since early June dump, about June 6th, 7th, and 8th, every time you get down there and touch it, eventually it pumps again, and then you got to sell when it gets into the resistance zone. So if you're trying to take a gamble on this, this would be the time that it's shown repeatedly. But if it does break that, you got to be concerned that you could break down the price discovery all the way down there at 0.003162. But this is the spot if you're taking gambles on this where you would want to take it when it's down at the bottom green support line where you see all these circles that it's hit it each time, but then it's got rejected in the volume indicator red zone each time, right? So it's a good time to take that gamble if that's what you're trying to do on there. The XRP price, you can see it's all the way up near that upper resistance. And this is the same thing with XRP. You can see repeatedly XRP has got support on the volume indicator zone because it's coming from above it. So it tries to act as support, but eventually the buyers will all be exhausted and the price one of these times is going to flush right through this. But the major overhead resistance has been that 37 cents. And that's about where we're trying to come up to right now. And that's going to be what you got to see it happens when the volume comes in. Does it get yet again rejected by there and then finally fall through that major support zone and drop down to the next level at 26 cents? Or does it try to get bullish and break that 37 cents? That's what we're going to be watching out for as the futures market opens. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love to you, yes, you, the beautiful audience.